Like every industry, shipping is at the beginning of a radical transformation as a result of AI. And of course, as with all previous technological transformation, shipping is doing it in its own way, at its own pace, but it absolutely is doing it. For shipping, there are two main dimensions of the AI revolution. There is the automation of the office with LLMs, which looks maybe more similar to what we're seeing in other industries. And then there's the automation of the ship itself, which is much more particular to shipping, and which is what we work on at DeepSea. And it has to do first with using AI to understand the vessel through digital twinning, and then optimizing the vessel, and then finally autonomously operating the vessel. And we've been doing all of this now since 2017. We're one of the first people to bring AI into the sector, and we now have the first class-approved solution for autonomously controlling the speeds and engines of ships, which is currently being used by real cargo ships in the ocean. Getting data for ships, real usable data, is extremely difficult. To really be able to build a model which has the precision to be able to do what we do, and calculate precise RPM instructions, both for the 500 vessels or so that are using it for suggestions, and now the new vessels that are using it for autonomous control, you need sensors, right? So you need sensors measuring the fuel going into and out of the engine, measuring the RPM, measuring power, and you need very good weather data. And so we have, for the last 10 years that we've been doing this, working with our customers to collect this sensor data directly from the vessels. We now have around 500 vessels that we're supporting this way, and we've collected the equivalent of about 1,000 years of sailing at the per minute level. And so this now means that we're really the only company that's in the position to make these high precision models, not just for the vessels that have the sensors, but also for the vessels that don't have the sensors. There is always going to be a human in the loop in using AI systems, but what will happen is the role of humans on board vessels is going to change, first gradually and then quite radically. To begin with, crews are going to have to learn how to operate these new AI solutions that are coming out, the autonomous optimization and autonomous control systems. In the first 5 to 10 years, their role is going to be absolutely crucial in terms of giving feedback, criticism to these systems to make sure they're working well. And then going further into the future, they're going to have to transition to being operators of the systems. But basically, there's always going to be, a ship is always going to be a captain. Maybe in 50 years, you can have one captain for 50 ships, but there's always going to be a captain. My experience, at least, is that the more that the new crews that are being trained and going aboard vessels are going to be working with autonomous systems, the more valuable the experience of the people that remember how to do it the old way is going to be. Certainly, I'm willing to pay good money for the great team we have in our company, which is growing, of experienced seafarers. And so I think right now, if I was a seafarer, I would be looking to see how I can capture the most value possible from the AI revolution and kind of put my skill set to use for all the people, both on the owner-operator side and the tech company side, that are going to be driving this revolution. Capital Link event today, as always, was an absolute triumph. I had a great conversation on my panel with Yarden from Orca, who is making the other half of autonomy. I do the navigation, he does the obstacle avoidance and the watch keeping, with Marina, who's one of the most forward-thinking investors in the space, and with Brian, who I just met, who's bringing nuclear to shipping, which is very exciting. But as always at these events, the best conversations are not the ones on the panels, but the ones that are happening over coffee between the panels.